Ippo's retirement progress isn't just physical, it's more so mental. We know he's a physical specimen, but have you noticed how crazy his personality changed? Because beneath all the Miyata glazing, there's a serious pro boxer who is cold as ice and slowly becoming a monster. Let's look at the beginning of his retirement, the infamous slapping scene where he turned into a monster for a split second. In the middle of a rainstorm, Ippo ran to Umezawa's help, who tried to deal with some bullies on his own. Look at this poetic panel. The fight was happening under a bridge, a familiar spot because Ippo was also bullied under a bridge in the first chapter. But the wall of rain makes it look like Ippo is crossing a barrier into another realm, a metaphorical line, so to speak. Then we see him enter the battlefield. It looks like a ring, but outside in the open. Ippo sees the bully silhouette before him. This guy really whooped 3 dudes' asses like it's nothing, and Umezawa is sitting on the ground. A dude in his late 20s was literally beaten by teenagers. Umezawa tells Ippo not to look. He knows what will happen if this goes south. This is especially critical because Ippo taught the bully how to box just mere chapters before this. Ippo, being the good guy he always is, tries to convince him to do some training. He even brought the mitts his coach gave him. These are special mitts for Ippo, by the way. He threw his first punches as a boxer on them. The guy looks like a demon and completely disregards Ippo. He's basically calling him a spineless bitch. Ippo low-key gets delirious and shouts, "You're lying!" He just can't fathom this level of betrayal. And then something unexpected happens. This dude straight up slaps Kamogawa's mitts out of Ippo's hands. Ippo runs after the flying mitts and even calls them the coach's mitts. As he sits on the ground completely heartbroken, he thinks about all the lies Taihei told him leading up to this point. He used the skills Ippo taught him for a wrong cause. Kamogawa even said he wanted to see his disciple one day. We see Ippo's distorted face in a puddle of rainwater. This is such a beautiful depiction of his inner world right this moment. His whole personality is being twisted and distorted by the heavy emotions caused by betrayal. Umezawa tries to snap him out of it, but to no avail. Ippo slowly stands up and walks towards Taihei the bully. And then look at this panel. Ippo extends his left arm and pulls it all the way back. Then we see him from the front. His coloring is inverted now. This happens only very rarely in Hajime no Ippo. It symbolizes a transformation to a completely opposite state of mind. And in this case, it's Ippo becoming someone or something else entirely. His hand approaches like a cutting and relentless typhoon that can't be averted. And it makes contact with Taihei's face. The initial impact is so strong that his face deforms like cookie dough falling off a skyscraper. Look at Ippo's form as he slaps the rain off this punk's ass. He is even twisting his hips and pivoting his lead foot for a mere slap. This hits so hard that Taihei does a whole backflip. And then he lands on the ground worse than Mashiba landed against Rosario. In reality, he should never walk again. Now let's talk about this. This is a perfect scenario for Ippo crossing a literal and metaphorical line and doing something worthy of being called a monster. Umezawa and Itagaki even call him a monster after this incident. But is this really it? He became a monster for a moment. He had no regard for the other dude except for making an open hand. He probably slapped him with all he got or close to max power. It was as simple as this. You disrespected one of the most important people in my life and betrayed me. You'll have to pay for this. Was it wrong? Yes. But it was a behavior so far removed from Ippo that it can be called monstrous. Not even Takamura goes around slapping people this hard. He causes trouble in the streets, but not to this degree. The problem here is that it wasn't controlled. It wasn't rationally motivated. It was emotional, and being emotional in a fight is weak. Ippo immediately regrets his decision and has a whole meltdown just seconds after Taihei hits the ground. And then Umezawa takes him away and they leave the rainfall ring together. Either you do this with your chest or you don't do it at all. This makes me think that this incident was just a little glimpse into what Ippo is capable of. The window was closed right after this incident. Physically speaking, he's already a monster. He's been a monster since day one, if we're being honest. This is a mindset issue. Because there are fighters with less power than Ippo who can be considered monsters. One of those is Date Eiji, and there's no debate about it. Date was a monster. His mind games with Ippo, his face-off with Ricardo, his relentless scheming in the ring, he had it all. He wanted to win and win by any legal means possible. It was his will that made the difference. Ippo never had this type of will. It was always, I need to show the coach or I need to prove that this technique works. His body was complete, but his mind was lacking the necessary strength. His belief system was built on only the coach's methods and training drills. He had no intrinsic belief in himself. As a boxer, you need to be a little out of touch, even a little arrogant. Nobody can beat you, you're the best. Even if you lose, you didn't lose because your opponent was better. You lost because he hit you with a lucky punch. Ippo never had this, and maybe he will never have this. One can argue that this just isn't his personality, but a will to win isn't personality driven. It's like the blood in your veins. When he helped Volk prepare for his world title fight, he had the highest and purest form of ambition. He wanted to pay him back. In a sense, this is comparable to the slap situation. Both were forms of payback. Maybe Ippo's best motivational system are paying people back. And there's no better motivation than wanting to pay a coach back for all he's done for you. Takamura's belief system is ridiculous self-belief paired with his love for Kamogawa. I think Ippo's motivation will develop into something similar too. And once he has this unwavering goal, nothing will stop him.